Hey guys, welcome back to The Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you my 5 favorite graphic novels of 2020. So this is part of my 2020 favorite series where I'm showing 5 of my favorites in 4 different categories. So I have my favorite graphic novels, which I'm sharing with you today. I also have my favorite audiobooks, my favorite middle grade, and then my favorite general everything else. So today we're going to talk about graphic novels. So these will be ranked in order from least to most favorite. And yeah, there's a combination on here. I'm actually proud of myself. They're not all middle grade. So, I mean, I feel like we're doing good, right? All right, so in the number 5 spot is Irina. This is actually book 2. Book 1 went back to the library. This is in a series. I read book 1 last year. I have not read book 2 yet. This is a graphic novel that follows the life of Irina Sendlerowa, who was someone who lived in Poland during World War II and successfully saved thousands of children from the ghetto there, and was able to preserve their names to get to their families so that there was record of them. It's a well-known story, but this graphic novel adaptation of it was so brilliantly well done. You can kind of tell. I'm going to show off some of the art in here. It's just really, really well done. It's impactful. I think it's technically considered YA. It's really good, guys. I love the first one. I can't wait to read. I have the second and third one out from the library right now. I can't wait to get to them. Highly suggest you check them out if you're into World War II. Yeah, or not. I mean, it's just a wonderful story. Any way you roll it, go check it out. That was number 5. Number 4 on this list is They Called Us Enemy by George Takei. This is another nonfiction book. This follows, and it's also World War II. It follows George Takei's story of being sent to a Japanese internment camp during World War II. He was a young child. It's his family's story, and it was so well done. It was very clear in this novel how patriotic George Takei's family was and continues to be. It was very thought-provoking. It was very real and very raw. And I just thought that it was a wonderful portrayal of what war looked like for Japanese Americans during World War II. It was an awful, awful thing. And I think that more people need to hear real stories of what happened. And this is one of them. So there's number 4. All right, moving on to number 3. The number 3 spot, I have Kindred by Octavia Butler. This is, the graphic novel is not by Octavia Butler. The actual book is by Octavia Butler, and then they did a graphic novel adaptation of it. And I don't remember who it's by, so I'm going to have to put that on the screen here. But it was so good, you guys. And now I want to actually read the physical novel because it was so well done. The images in this book are very real. Not real. They're not realistic, but they invoke emotion, which is, I think, art, right? And so the graphic aspect of this was very graphic and very real. It was clear to read because some graphic novels can get a little muddy as far as interpretation goes, and the storyline was just chef's kiss. It was so good. It's historical fiction. It follows our main character. I cannot remember her name because I never remember anybody's names. But it follows our main character who lives in the 1970s and then is like one day transported back to antebellum South in Maryland, and she's Black, and she arrives there and she's like, what is even happening? And there is a little boy drowning in a river, so she pulls him out and gives him CPR. He's a white boy. She still doesn't know where she's at. He's a white boy. And then his parents come and they're like, why are you touching my little white boy? And she's like, what? And so she's trying to adapt to what's going on. She doesn't really know. It has to do with time travel. It has to do with historical fiction. It has to do with the relationship between this boy and this woman. And it is just so good. Mind-blowing, so good. go check it out. Check out the the graphic novel. There is a graphic novel adaptation of Parable of the Sower as well, which I was trying to get to in 2020 and I didn't quite make it happen, so maybe 2021. All right, in the number 2 spot, I have Brave by Svetlana Chbakova. This is a middle grade graphic novel, and this is part of the Berrybrook Middle School companion series by Svetlana Chbakova. And this specific one follows Jensen, who doesn't really have a place, he doesn't feel like. He's just trying to get through school, and he thinks he's found his crowd with the art club, but then a few of them are making comments here and there that don't really make him feel that great. And so he really wants to get into the newspaper group, and then so he starts hanging out with them, and then they're trying to like do things that he's like, I don't really know what's happening. He's not feeling really welcomed anywhere. And then there are also bullies in the school that are really targeting him. And so basically the point of the story is to point out that he is being bullied and he doesn't know that he's being bullied. And there's a lot of conversation in here about how to identify bullying, how to handle it, how to advocate for yourself, how to advocate for others. It was really well done. It's great for middle schoolers. Highly, highly recommend. And yeah, I just thought it was absolutely brilliant. So this goes in my number 2 spot. And then my favorite graphic novel of 2020, nobody's going to be surprised. Witches of Brooklyn by Sophie Escapase. This book, you guys, it's just so cute and it's so good. It is a middle grade graphic novel about Ify, who is a little girl who her mom has recently passed away. So she goes to live with her aunts that she's never really met before. They're elderly. They kind of are more grandmother-esque. And through a series of events, she finds out that they're witches and that maybe she's a witch too. And these specific witches have decided to use their powers for good and to help people. And so they're trying to help different people. And one of the people that comes to them for help is a celebrity who Ify and her friends are obsessed with. She kind of has this issue. She comes to the aunts for help, and Ify gets to experience this person in real life and how she really treats people. And it's not that great. And she's kind of let down. And it deals with how people react to that when people that we admire so much aren't who we thought they were. And they're not the people that we really look up to. And how do we do that? You know, do we still continue to admire their work? Or do we just write them off completely and say, nope, I don't want to support you anymore as a person? And so there was a lot of conversation about that, about, you know, doing good and our place and how to treat other people. It was just so good and so cute. It's going to be a series. I cannot wait for number 2 to come out. It's just going to be brilliant too. I just have a feeling. Highly suggest picking this up if you haven't already. Loved it. That's it. Those were my 5 favorite graphic novels of 2020. So if you have read these, I would love to hear your comments about them down below in the description box. If you have not, I would love to hear what your favorite graphic novel of 2020 was. And yeah, I think that that's it for today. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.